Hey y'all, if y'all are alive out there, what's up? I already see the thumbs up emoji. I ain't even have to ask y'all. That's fine. Let me pop in. How y'all doing? I want to bring on a really good friend of mine. As soon as she pop in here.
Peace.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Let me pull these little comments back down. For everybody
Thanks so much
that's
for having me on your live. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem at all. For the people that's getting on, you might recognize Aayanna. She is Divine Stargate, but because Instagram wanted to be a little hoe,
You
gonna
feel me?
close down her page, which is unacceptable. But
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about some things and get another perspective, even though we think very similarly. Just discuss some things because there's a lot going on right now, and they shutting us down, like people who are talking and saying things that's actually going to better us, that's not like going on with like the agendas of the world. Like if you talking to nonsense and going on with the agendas that they trying to push, you can have the best Instagram, you get all these sponsored and endorsements and all that other type of stuff, but don't be talking about uplifting and bettering Black people,
Listen.
because they flag your posts and all of that, like. And
And
it's ridiculous.
what's crazy is like I realized that literally talking about things that empower Black men and Black women in relationships have gotten me flagged more so than any of the controversial videos I did, even more so than the LGBT videos or talking about things like that are really controversial. I have been banned off YouTube for 3 months. I get banned back to back on Facebook. But Instagram didn't actually give me a warning right before it deleted my page. And I was actually talking about Black relationships and submission when they decided to take my page down. I really wasn't saying much controversial. But, oh, yeah, God peace underscore.
That's right, right?
Yeah, so.
Yeah, okay.
You said what?
I'm just trying to make sure that's the right handle. Hold on real quick.
Yeah, that's difficult.
It. There we go. Got the comment pinned.
Thank you.
All right, we keep going.
But yeah, so literally I remember the first time YouTube banned me or restricted me or whatever, put me in YouTube jail. It was literally over a video which they took down, and I was just looking over my videos recently that was talking about why Black men and Black women should empower each other. I didn't say anything offensive in the video. I rewatched the video and there was no sign of anything offensive. But as soon as you talk about something that'll unite Black men and Black women, they'll take it down. But yeah, IG a hoe out these streets.
Exactly. Instagram being a hoe. And I mean, and that's really what it is, because people, they'll come and what I do is like, I'm so big on blocking people. I block several people every day. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want, you don't get the opportunity to report my post or my page and nothing like that. As soon as you say something that's remotely contrary to what I might be saying, you're getting blocked. I don't have time. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. My Instagram is not a space for white people to come have a voice. None of that, that's not what it's for. So if you come on my page talking about, well, what I think, blocked. I don't care what you think. This ain't about you. Really.
That's real. You cannot play with, because they are not playing out here.
Exactly. They'll go and report your posts and take it, and I don't have the time for that. So I'm blocking people. I go through the comments every now and then, and I block a few people every day. And I pride myself at being a block connoisseur because I ain't got time for none of that nonsense. But really, what we do have to continue, even though, Instagram and social media or whoever wants to like talk about, doesn't want us talking about like things that's going to bridge the gap between Black men and Black women, we have to talk about it, because we're not going anywhere without that. Which is one of the reasons why I love like your post and your page, because it doesn't matter what's going on. You're always talking about that, how we need each other. It doesn't matter. Like I might have my own personal things going on, and I know you have your personal things. We've talked before where we've had our men issues, but we ain't gonna never dog Black men as a whole. And because we both have that mentality, we both need to make sure that we're continuing to speak and people can hear what we're talking about, because it's not enough of that,
Right, right. And as a matter of fact, you know, even though Instagram took my page down, it actually just propelled me. And like literally that day, I bought my domain name and my hosting, and my website's almost done. I asked my web designers to just throw something up for now. So at least when people go to my website, goddessayanna.com, it's not complete yet, but within the next 2 days, it'll be complete. But that'll be a platform for me to speak everything I want to say without worried about anything getting banned or anything. So look forward, you know, look forward to that in the future. Like I said, I should have that ready in a couple of days. But yeah, but you know what? You remember when they were doing that? It was some legislation basically trying to monitor the internet or whatever.
Yeah,
I wonder if this is the actual phase, because they got Remy, they got Brother Hassan. Brother Hassan was able to get his page back up, but then they took it back down. So it's, you know, and even someone else, a mutual friend of ours, I don't want to put him on blast right now, sent me a message that Instagram sent him, that basically they sent me a month before they took my page down. So it's just like, you really got to pay attention and show love to these people out here that's on Instagram and on these social media platforms that made a name for themselves because on social media, because these people are going to do anything they can to destroy our platform. So make sure you support no matter what.
Exactly. And just because I want to pin a new comment with all your information, you said it's goddessayanna.com, right? And that's GODDESS and then AAYANNA.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
All right, for sure. So that people know.
Oh yeah.
Let me pin that one.
I got Urima's app too. I do have that app. So
you said you have what now?
Urima's app. Somebody said something about Urima because they got Urima off of here too. I forgot about that, brother. I'm trying to see if we can get a class action lawsuit together. I've already hit a few people up to see what's good. But,
right.
You know.
Yeah. In the meanwhile, what we have to do, I mean, I don't even know like how to like stop that. I know me personally, I've never had any of my posts taken down. But I'm just so quick with blocking people. I mean, I have thousands of people blocked. Like I don't play because people be tripping, you know? And I know it's a lot of people that I know of that have gotten their page taken down and posts taken down and stuff like that. So we really have to continue what we're doing. But in addition to that, like make sure that we have other avenues. What I am going to do, me personally, is that I'm going to start a podcast, and that's something that's outside of social media. So that it doesn't have to be policed and controlled, just to make sure that, like, you know, like whatever social media is not like the main thing. You know what I'm saying? Because they tripping, clearly they tripping. It started with the minister. They deleted all of his social media and banned him off of, like, that's wild. It's wild. Like, even if you don't rock with the nation or whatever the case may be, that should be something as low key, high key, a problem, you know, that they're like stopping anyone who's talking about us unifying, you know? Yeah. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a tactic for like, so for me, this was one of those hits where I had to actually reconfigure my business, and I had to do this, do it very quickly. So fortunately for me, I have a lot of followers on Facebook, even though I'm actually banned off of there right now. I got like 2 more days before I can even go on Facebook, but you know, utilizing YouTube and my other and other avenues, I was able to, of course, you know, keep up business. But you know, just that hit reminded me, like, these crackers will do anything to fuck shit up if you are speaking power into your people. So it's definitely a wake up call for me. So like I said, I'm learning that lesson now. I've already reconfigured a lot of things, got a lot of things in order, and I'm pushing forward. And I definitely would suggest that a lot of people who get a lot of their business from social media. So, you know, we're both entrepreneurs. We get a lot of business from social media. And so, you know, just having other platforms, like you said, you're doing a podcast. But anybody else out there, create other platforms that can't be taken down, because they will do whatever they can.
Right. Because what's not going to happen is we're not going to stop talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, I'm not going to stop talking about the need for Black men and Black women. However people deal with their relationships is them. I can't speak on homosexual relationships or any of the LGBTQ community because I'm not a part of it. But what I will talk about is the relationships that I'm familiar with, which is Black men and Black women. And that's all I'm going to be talking about. And that's all I'm going to be pushing, because that's what I do for me personally. You know, and I ain't going to never stop, because that's how we build a strong nation. You know what I'm saying? We build a strong nation by strong families. You know what I'm saying? Like all the other races of people have like a leg up on us because they get to come from generational wealth because their families established something. And all of us, we have to, I wrote a poem a while ago and it started with, we perpetuate this cycle of ongoing parental negligence, learning how to cheat and lie because we can't get by with what our parents left us with. Right. So it's just, it's so much that we just have to start from scratch. You know, we have to start with credit being messed up because we have cable bills in our name at 2 years old and other people, I'm saying, but this is a real thing that has happened to a lot of people when other races of people are doing credit leasing with their children. And by the time their children turn 18, they have the 800 credit score. You know what I'm saying? They have everything that they need. So we have to keep talking about it because, you know, I say all the time, and it's something that's taught in the nation, that there's no freedom without economic freedom, and that business is warfare. Like, we have to talk about like a structured family, you know what I'm saying? The Black family. And I remember you were talking about being a Black familyist. You're the first and only person that I've ever heard say that, but Black familyist, and then growing economically in order to achieve any type of freedom, you know?
Right. Absolutely. I think, you know, just us building our own foundation so that we don't have to rely on the people that have been oppressing us for hundreds of years is just so important.
Right.
Point blank, period. And like you're saying, like the Black family is even looking at the people that didn't come in with generational wealth, their family is still really tight. And so even just with the unity of their family,
right,
you know, come up within a 5-year time span, come all the way up. You know, so the relationship between a Black man and a woman is of the utmost importance right now. Until we get that together, not too much of this other stuff is going to seem right. We got to get our relationships together. And I was smiling earlier because somebody asked the question, but I think you're in a relationship right now, I think, right? Yeah. So someone was just asking, are you guys having issues finding or dating good Black men? I don't have an issue finding good Black men at all. As far as dating them, you know, I work with I talk to a lot of people, or, you know, I'm around a lot of people that do a lot of work for the community. So I'm around a lot of upstanding Black men all the time. As far as men that I would date personally, you know, it is what it is. We out here, you know, for those of us, you know, that are spiritually inclined and really, you know, whatever you want to call woke, or very conscious of their people. A lot of us are spread out. So I think that's more so the dilemma for a lot of us, just finding people that are like-minded in a close range versus, you know, far away. But I have no problem finding good Black men at all.
Yeah, likewise. It's not a difficult thing. And I know it may seem easier because of like the social media and all of that type of stuff. But even before social media, it's not like I had like a problem, you know what I'm saying, with finding decent Black men. You know, a lot of the times I feel like we really have to put a huge emphasis on ourselves, because we as women, like, we get such a weight put on that. Like, if a man is 30 years old and he's single, he's a bachelor, you know, he's just living his life, nothing wrong with him. If I'm 30 years old and I'm single, what's wrong with her? How come she not married? How come she ain't got a man? How come she ain't had children? And so it's so much pressure just to be with someone as opposed to being with the right person. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I have to start telling myself. It's like, don't trip because people are getting married or whatever. And it's like, it's a show, because people, a lot of times they be more infatuated with the idea of a relationship than actually being in one. Because when you're in one, there's a lot of compromise. You feel me? There's a lot of stuff that you do that you're going to have to change, and vice versa, you know, in order to better understand and deal with the person that you with. So, you know, a lot of emphasis really needs to be put on ourselves, because we be thinking that like the source of our happiness is going to be getting with someone else. And if you thinking like that, and I mean, it's going to be terrible when you do get into a relationship, you know? Right. Because you're going to be expecting someone else to provide for you something you should be providing for yourself, you know? Right. Yeah. But, go ahead. No, I was just going to say, but that doesn't downplay the need and the significance for the Black family, but it just has to be done right, you know? Right. That's real. I think that we as a people have a lot of catching up to do, just in regards of self-knowledge and self-love. You know, I think a lot of us, you know, become a lot more aware and conscious these days after we've graduated high school. So, you know, those formidable years, you know, that we should be learning to love ourselves and, you know, just even know our history and know how strong our people are.
We don't know that. So we can't, if we don't even know our history, we can't truly know ourselves. And like, you know, a lot of people waking up in their 20s and stuff. And so we're like, we got years of catching up to know ourselves and love ourselves. Meanwhile, we're at the age where we want to date. We want to, you know, be held. We want to have these relationships. And so I think a lot of times that's what's really messing up our relationships here is just, you know, that lack of self-love and self-knowledge earlier on. And by the time, you know, it's time to start dating, we're just now starting to realize who we are, and we haven't fully awakened to that. But sometimes getting with the wrong one will help you find out.
Right. Right.
You
know, it all adds to the experience and like better understanding like what you need and what you won't accept, you know. So it definitely helps, but we really have to get it together when it comes to our families. Like the first thing has to be the desire, you know, to be with a Black man or a Black woman, you know what I'm saying? And too many of us, and that's what I was talking about with like the Afro chat that I just recently posted about forgiveness, because I understand forgiveness, you know, I understand forgiving people, but we never reserve forgiveness for us. We always have all the forgiveness in the world for everybody else, but when it comes to us forgiving each other, that's something that we can't do. You know, there's too many Black women and Black men who have like just this hatred and this I don't know whatever, this animosity between us, you know, and we don't have any intention to forgive, you know, and that's what we have to do. It doesn't mean letting people walk all over us, but it means, and I say this all the time, just understanding that we're suffering from a shared traumatic experience that neither of us are responsible for, you know. It's understanding that I have things that I do that has been inherited that I have to check, and vice versa, you know what I'm saying? But we really have to understand, like, we were taught to hate each other, you know, we were taught to devalue each other, taught to not see any value in what we bring to the table, you know what I'm saying? And we have to get rid of that type of thinking and that mentality. I know for myself, there's some things that I carry, like as far as like doing everything myself, you know, and it can seem kind of like domineering, you know, when the person I'm with will say that they can handle it or they gonna do something, and then I go do it because I've had to do it all my life. And now they're sitting up like, well, why didn't you allow me to do what I said I was gonna do, you know? And everyone wants to feel needed, you know, everyone wants to feel needed, and you can't be dealing with people in a way that makes them feel like they're replaceable. And we as Black women are good at saying we don't need a man, but that's a very unattractive thing to say, you know?
Yeah, that's that feminism bull crap that as soon as the 1970s, once the crack era hit, they took full advantage of the devastation going on in Black homes. They batted Black women against Black men. They used welfare as the hook to bait Black women, you know, against their men. They locked our men up, you know. It's just onslaught after onslaught, you know, on the Black woman, the Black man, and even using each other against each other, because we're the best tools against each other, you know. So, you know, we got a lot of getting back to that love, getting back to that forgiveness, like you were talking about, and having compassion, understanding that the negative experiences that you've had with Black men or Black women are really a mirror, a reflection of the oppression that we've gone through, and being gentle in your heart, whether you deal with somebody or not. You don't got to deal with somebody that's abusing you, but to know in your heart that that's not really the nature of our people. That's the oppressor's disease infecting our people.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm so glad that you say that, because our nature as Black people is we're inherently kind. We're inherently compassionate. We're inherently forgiving. So when we're doing things that's outside of our nature and outside of our character to do, it's because there's a problem there. It's because we've learned some behavior that we need to unlearn, you know? And of course it comes first with us understanding that there's a problem, but we have to be compassionate enough to not just dismiss somebody and throw them away, and try to at least tell them or show them that there's a better way to do things or a better way to deal with things, you know, because we're by nature, we're not like it's only evident with what you see from Black people all over the world. We're not a deceitful, we're not a vindictive, we're not a murderous people. That's not us by nature, you know what I'm saying? So let's reserve that compassion and that forgiveness and that love and benevolence for who it should be to, which is our own people, you know. Everybody else don't need none of that. We don't need to give any of our compassion or forgiveness to people who are currently brutalizing us and have continued to brutalize us and don't have any intention on stopping. We don't need to give them any more compassion, love, forgiveness, benevolence, none of that, you know?
Hell no. All that fucking, excuse me, all that forgiveness.
You good? I mean, you could do what you want. Ain't nobody stopping you from cursing or whatever. You feel me? You say what you want.
I just still in mommy mode because I had to go up to my daughter's school today and handle some business. But yeah, like that, I just, in the spirit of Harriet Tubman, you know what I'm saying? Some of these Negroes, it just ain't no helping. I mean, even one of the officers and all the things that she said, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bruh, and who are we giving these people a pass? Like, I mean, the rest of Black Twitter and Black social media seeing what I could not believe.
It's really wild, man.
Yesterday.
The number of people talking about forgiveness is so much harder than holding a grudge and all of that. It's like, yes, I know that, but it's like, who do you give your forgiveness to? Because we as Black people, we be so forgiving of like white people and the nonsense that they do. But as soon as like a Black celebrity say something we don't like, oh, it's cancel culture. Let's cancel them. We're not going to support any of their shows or endeavors or anything that they doing. We don't reserve. So when you're talking about all this, oh, forgiveness is so hard and it's really the bigger thing to do. I mean, do you give that to Black people, or is your forgiveness something only reserved for white people? Because what it's sounding like is cowardice. And there's a difference. Right. Forgiveness is not cowardice. It's not the same thing. You feel me? But don't mask your cowardice and your fear of what white people going to do or say and call it forgiveness. Because you're doing forgiveness a disservice. They're not the same thing.
That's real.
People are afraid and they scary and they hide behind forgiveness. Like, well, I'm going to be forgiving, blah, blah, blah. Because you don't want to say something that you think is going to offend your white friends or your white spouse or whoever it is, your coworkers or whatever it may be. You need to stop being so scary and calling it forgiveness, because real forgiveness is a beautiful thing. But it comes with righting a wrong. You don't forgive someone when they have failed to rectify the wrong and they intend to keep doing wrong. You don't offer forgiveness for that.
Okay.
You don't. Yeah. You just don't do it. I'm tired of that.
There's such thing as a righteous vengeance. And like people like, they want to, let's be in touch and, spirit and God and this and that. And it's just like, yo, there's a balance to everything. Right. We have, I like to use hate for an example. People are like, oh, you shouldn't hate, but hate exists for a reason. Right. There's a reason hate exists, is to protect you. So there are going to be times when you have to use the lower vibration. The lower vibration is neither good nor bad, but sometimes you got to dip down and use that carnal motherfucking nature, pull it out and protect your motherfucking self. We're not protecting ourselves, and we're saying, we're forgiving, but like you said, that shit is just cowardice. It's cowardice cloaked in forgiveness. Right. And it's not going to help our people, point blank, period. That's not self-love. That's not true love for anybody.
It's not. And that's the thing. Like, the thing is a lot of people think that the opposite of love is hate. It's not. The opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is fear. You know what I'm saying? That's what the opposite of love is. When you have I feel like love and trust are synonymous to each other. And when you fully love and trust someone, you're not afraid. You're able to be vulnerable with your emotions and your heart because you love and you trust that person. When you have fear in love, then it's not love. You have fear, and that's the opposite of what love is. So when we're talking about hate, it's not even something that's like the antithesis of love. Hate is something that is necessary, and we set up a lot of times we're steeped in Christianity, and I'm not gonna knock it because I know a lot of really dope Christian people, you know what I'm saying, and I'm not knocking it, but we can't be sitting up talking about God is love and God says to love everybody when God hated. It's several times in the Bible where he hated people. He hated things. God hates, you know what I'm saying? And if we're made in the so-called image and likeness of God, then why is it wrong for us to hate? Sometimes
it ain't never wrong to hate somebody that hates you.
I'm not saying we should just be a hateful people and run around just trying to like kill or do a whole bunch of bad stuff. But I'm saying, like, we can't be curving our emotions. And I talked about that. I don't know, a couple of days ago, about us curving our behavior so we could show white people that we know how to behave. We don't need to curve that. If we feeling upset or if we feeling like we hate something, let that be the emotion. Let that be the emotion.
That's real.
So
a lot of our people are really afraid to express the anger that they have towards the oppression and the society that's oppressed them and the people that have oppressed them. But instead of, you know, saying that they hate these things, that they're angry at these things and the way the system is set up, they say, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I'm angry at you. Don't step on my shoe. That brother's not mad because you stepped on his shoe. He's mad because he can only afford these one nice pair of shoes and he's trying to show them off because it's been hard for him to get a job. So he out here doing shit that he don't really want to do. He already done spent 3 years in jail for this shit. He came out, he could barely afford the shit. Now you step on his shoe. Brother, he ain't really mad at you. He mad at the system, but he's about to take it out on you.
right.
Because it's easy to take it out on somebody else that's a victim of oppression rather than really stand up to the people oppressing you.
Right.
You know?
Right. And seeing that goes back into fear, you know? It's the fear and feeling powerless, like we really can't do anything. So instead of us like actually voicing our dissatisfaction and voicing the fact that we're upset, we use fear and we mask it with forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I'm really not with that. Like I keep seeing stuff all down my timeline and on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook talking about forgiveness and all of that, and I'm like, it's so wild. We don't reserve any of that when it comes to ourselves. Why is that? Why do we have all the forgiveness in the world to extend to everyone else? And it made me think it can't be forgiveness, because I don't think we're that docile to the point where we just have such a forgiving heart, or maybe we are, but I feel like a lot of it is cowardice masked as forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? We're afraid to say certain things because of the positions that we're in, the jobs that we hold, or whatever the case may be. We're afraid to say certain things. So we just say we forgive because that's the best way to mask the fact that we're afraid, you know?
That's real.
And we gotta stop all that, being scared and all of that, you know? I don't know, man. It's a lot.
We're gonna get fed up. We're gonna get fed up.
It's
We
so
tired of it. We getting to that point, and there's more and more people waking up. You know, sometimes it's hard for, you know, people that are out here and that really out here working and speaking life into our people to constantly see our people in a certain situation. But I do see that there are masses of people. But even in my own town, like we're doing sister circle. We have a new moon circle.
nice.
We have a full moon circle. We trying to get the brothers on circle. We finna get the brothers out crystal mining in Arkansas soon with us. Soon. Like we have a lot, like just a lot of the community centers are coming back to life. So I'm seeing the life coming back in. I just hope we can continue on this wave and really ride this motherfucker till we ain't gotta deal with this shit no more. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
But
No, seriously,
man.
though.
It's rough. We slow, but we getting there.
This is true. We are getting it. I will say that from what I've seen, like there's a lot of changes going on. One of the things that I was telling like my dad the other day is that like I feel like there's a generation of Black men that might have grown up without their fathers, and because of that, they're making a point to be there for their children. Like that's what I'm seeing more and more. I'm seeing things like that. I'm seeing more and more of us like questioning things, you know, because I mean, that's how we know that we're human and that we're like alive and conscious and intelligent people. Because the first thing that happens, I know I have a whole bunch of nieces. I have a whole clan of nieces and nephews, and I know you have children. And when they started talking, the first thing they started doing was asking questions, right?
Facts.
They started asking you something. What is this? And you tell them what it is, and then they say, why? Why is
right? Oh, the whys,
right? So like it shows that we're intelligent when we start to question things, and we have a generation of people who are no longer accepting the things that we've just been taught, and we're questioning things. So that, in my opinion, is like the telltale sign that things are turning around, because there's more people who are not just saying, okay, yeah, that I'm going to believe that. And there's more people that saying that don't make no damn sense. Why is it like this? You know?
Facts. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I'm just some of these comments are lit. I appreciate you guys. There's a lot of love here, yo.
Yeah, no, I'll be going in sometimes, and I'll be looking at the comments, and sometimes people be mad, like, you'll never read the comments. So let me
it be like that.
Let me look at some of these. Let's stop questioning whether we should go buy Black. Stop. Make your own definitions. Okay.
Oh Lord.
No, I mean, I feel what they're trying to say. I believe I understand what they're trying to say. Like, we shouldn't question whether or not we should buy Black. I think is what they're saying. You know, certain things, I guess they're saying we shouldn't question, like we should support each other, no question. And I get that, you know.
I think he meant the term Black.
Really? We should
like,
go.
you
Oh,
know,
go
the
buy
full
black. I
black.
see.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no, we ain't got time for that. You
You
know,
know,
because that's just more of that nonsense. You know, like what you call yourself is what you call you. Why do we get so caught up with that?
you know, and this is another reason that makes it so hard for us to unify, because we don't know what to call ourselves. But the majority of us over here right now we call ourselves black. So it's just, you understand it the way you need to understand it. Translate it in your mind the way you need to translate it. But you know, for the melanated people whose hair defies gravity, we talking to you.
Exactly. We got to stop all that nitpicking stuff. That's what we default to. You know what? And that's what it is. Like, it's so much easier to nitpick about the problem than focus on the solution. Like, and that is the biggest thing with us as a people. We know how to talk and be mad. Like, oh, this is such a huge problem. As soon as somebody present a solution, we don't know what to do with that. Oh, what do you mean? There's a way out of this hole? Because I like to just sit here and talk about the problem instead of actually working to get out of this. But there is a way out. We have to support each other. It don't matter if you call yourself a Moor, a Hebrew Israelite, a Christian, a Buddhist, a Muslim. It don't matter what you call yourself. Like, we have to support each other. You know, I had a opportunity when I was in Morocco to talk to a Jewish man. Like, it was all black people, right? It was all black people. And this one Jewish man that was on the trip, he paid his way like everybody else. And let me tell you, he was a pain in my ass the whole trip, right? Because what he did, which is something that infuriates me, is that he would say something and he would always go into over-explaining, right? He would go into over-explaining as if we were too stupid to understand what he was saying. And I'm like, look, nigga, you around a bunch of black professionals. Like, these are lawyers and therapists and things on this trip. You know, you don't have to sit up and over-explain everything in a condescending way because you think we don't understand. Or whatever, you want to make yourself feel smart or whatever the case may be. But he got on my nerves. But one thing that he said, because I listen to people and I let them talk, you know, one thing that he said was that the Jewish community, while I don't believe that they are really Jews, them that call themselves that, I don't believe that's what they are. But regardless, they that's what they call themselves. And he says that what they do is that they, like, it's a common custom to talk about the history and talk about, like, the resources that are available, and they only go with each other. Like, they only go to schools and only go to whatever establishments that are owned by their people, and they support it. You know what I'm saying? And the Berber people, which is the Northern African people that say that they came from the Moors, but they didn't, because they don't look nothing. It's colonization. But they do the same thing. You know, they only support each other and pass down history from, like, things that they, like, stories that have been told. So we as black people, we have to adapt those things and stop dividing ourselves by what we call ourselves or whatever issues and all this other type of stuff. Like, people don't see eye to eye to have to work together. There's so many different variations of, like, Latino and Hispanic and Mexican or whatever. They don't care about none of that. They don't have to agree with each other to work together. They don't have to all think exactly the same for them to work together. They just work together and they get it done. You know what I'm saying? They get it done. All these other people get it done. We'd be so caught up with what we call ourselves and all of that nonsense and what religion we are. Someone asked me, like, what do I believe? What's my religious beliefs? And I'm like, look, I'm Moor, I'm Christian, I'm Hebrew Israelite, I'm Muslim, I'm whatever I need to be to better understand your mental condition. That's all it is. I'm whatever I need to be, because all of that other stuff we get sidetracked with is nothing but a distraction, you know?
Right. That's real. That is real.
Yeah, let's see what some of these comments are saying. Someone, oh Lord, see, look at it.
It was some good stuff. It was some good. Somebody came in with the craziness right there.
What is this? Did you not hear what I just said? You want to say black already means divided? Oh my gosh. Like, so you just don't want to hear what I'm talking about. None, just like,
oh Lord.
Okay, but like, we say these type of things, but black means divided by whose standards? What language, what etymology are you going into to determine that black means divided? Is it the English one that we all speak? Right. Like, where are you getting this divine knowledge and information for this language? Like, what are we?
The Black Laws Dictionary was a white book,
right? Like, we're basing our language on what they create. Like, what is this? What are we doing here? we be so caught up in trying to like, our knowledge should be to master ourselves, not to master the next person, not to be like, look what I know and what the information that I can bring. I'm like, no, use that to get yourself together.
You feel me? It's crazy.
It's so wild. It's so wild. We really be going in on what language means, but it's like, who created this language, this bastard language that we speak and we put so much weight into?
You know, you feel me? This whole language is a curse. Goddamn it, shit.
You telling me? My gosh. I mean, but, if you could find like an original word for what we are in our people's language, you feel me, and know definitively that that's what we came up with and that's what we called ourselves, then maybe you can start a campaign for us to, you know, abide only by that name or whatever the case may be. But until then, let's just work together. If we know that we original people, that's what I like to call us, me personally. You know, but whatever you want to call Black, I'm gonna respond to that too. You feel me? So we gotta stop with that, y'all. We really do. Like, for real.
Yeah. But yo, we gotta link up when I come out to Cali. I should be out there, like I said, in a couple weeks, around the middle of this month. So hopefully we can link up if you're not too busy or out and about.
Yeah, most def. Yeah, we could definitely link up. As long as you give me like definitive days, I'm good, you know?
Okay.
Because I don't be like in the mix like that. I know it might seem like I do, but I be chilling for the most part, you know?
I feel you. I feel you. That's how I am when I'm home.
Right. Right. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here. Well, both of us wanted to, just to let folk know, because I know a lot of the people that followed me did follow you, just to let them know where you are. So for people who might just be getting on or tuned in a little later, this is Divine Stargate. She's fire. If you followed her before, you can follow her at godpeace_. And if you didn't follow her before, you should, because she's fire. You feel me? And she's a dope person. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave this comment pinned up here, and I'm gonna save this live too. That's all I pretty much have to say. You have anything you want to add?
No, that's everything. Like I said, thank you so much for having me on your page, so I can let these people know, like, I'm over here, fam. My YouTube channel is Goddess Aayanna. My Facebook is Goddess Aayanna. My Twitter is Goddess Aayanna. So just check me out at goddessayanna.com. It'll be up in a couple days, but it is almost there. So just check me out. And once again, thank you so much for letting me come on your live.
Yeah, no problem at all. We really have to look out for each other, you know, and especially when I hear that you talking sense and it ain't nonsense. You feel me? We gotta look out. So y'all, I'm serious. If y'all follow me and you like what I'm talking about, you most definitely gonna like God Peace or Divine Stargate, but God Peace, you know, y'all need to follow because she fired. You know, and she a genuine person. Like, when I first got on Instagram, she just messaged me and was like, I love you. And I'm like, oh, I love you too. You know, but it's always been all love. It ain't been no ounce of jealousy. It ain't been no hate. It ain't been no subtle shade. It ain't been
no extra shit.
Exactly. No subbing. None of it. It's been none of that. She been solid from the beginning. So y'all go follow her because she a real life solid person. Okay.
All right, I appreciate you so much once again.
All right. Well, yeah, we gotta go ahead and get out this live. I appreciate you too, mate.
All right, peace.